All right, let's talk about Google's NotebookLM. Now, this isn't just another chatbot, not by a long shot. This is something different. It's a specialized AI that's designed to become an expert, not on the entire internet, but on the one thing that actually matters most, your world.
So let's kick things off with a question, and it's a really powerful one. What if your AI assistant only read your stuff? You know, your research papers, those meeting notes, all your project files. Imagine an expert that knows your project inside and out, because that's literally all it knows. Well, that's the big idea behind NotebookLM.
And this really gets to the heart of what makes it different. You see, a general AI, it's pulling from the entire messy, wild internet. And because of that, it can sometimes, well, it can hallucinate, just make stuff up. NotebookLM is the total opposite. It only works with the sources you give it. Think of it like a focused, private expert. And here's the best part. Every single answer comes with a citation, linking you right back to the proof in your own documents.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about the big problem it's trying to solve. Then, we'll get into the tech that makes it so reliable. After that, we'll dive into all the cool features, but we'll also take a really honest look at its limitations. And we'll wrap up by thinking about what it really means to have this new kind of partner for thought.
So let's jump right in. This is about a challenge I think we all feel, right? How do you move from just being buried in information to actually finding those focused, useful insights?
I mean, think about it. Whether you're a student, a researcher, or just trying to get a project done at work, you're dealing with a mountain of digital stuff. You've got articles, reports, transcripts, notes. It's just everywhere. And the real work, the hard part, isn't just collecting it all. It's making sense of it, right? Synthesizing it into something you can actually use. That is exactly the problem NotebookLM is built to solve.
So how does it actually do it? Well, let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that makes this thing so different. This section is all about how NotebookLM builds trust, and it all comes down to the technology.
The key idea, the big concept here, is something called bounded accuracy. And this isn't just some feature, it's a whole design philosophy. Basically, the AI's ability to think is strictly limited. It's bounded by the documents you feed it. That's it. This one architectural choice is the main thing that stops the AI from just making things up.
The way it works is through a process called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Now that sounds super technical, but it's actually pretty simple. Here's how it goes. First, you upload your sources, and that creates your own private mini-internet for the AI. Then, when you ask a question, the AI doesn't just guess based on its training. No way! First, it retrieves, it goes and finds the most relevant facts from your documents, and only then does it generate an answer, putting those facts together for you, complete with those all-important citations.
There's a great quote from Adrian Levy at UX Collective that just nails it. He said, "The answer isn't in the AI models. It's in how they architect the flow of work between human and AI." And that's exactly it. The big breakthrough here isn't some magical, smarter AI. It's a smarter way for us to work with the AI. You bring the expertise by picking the right sources, and the AI does all the heavy lifting, but only within the boundaries you set.
And the engine powering all this? It is incredibly powerful. NotebookLM is built on Google's Gemini models, and they have a 1 million token context window. So what on earth does that mean, right? Well, think of it as the AI's short-term memory. 1 million tokens is huge. It's like the AI being able to hold an entire book, we're talking hundreds of pages, in its active thinking space all at once. So it can do incredible things, like connect a random sentence in a meeting note on page 3 with a complicated diagram in a report on page 200. I mean, that's a task that would take a person hours to do.
Okay, so we've talked about the how. Now let's get to the really fun part. The what? Let's look at this thing as your own personal research studio, with features that are all about turning information into action.
And it all starts with what you feed it. And you can upload pretty much anything. We're talking PDFs, Google Docs, website links, even transcripts from YouTube videos, and Google Slides. You can just copy and paste text too. With the free plan, you can have up to 50 sources in a single notebook, which is honestly more than enough to get a big project off the ground.
So once all your stuff is in there, one of the most powerful things you can do is instantly generate reports. This feature alone can save you just hours and hours of writing.
And the kind of stuff it can create is just incredible. You can get a briefing doc for a super quick overview of your whole project. Or if you're a student, a study guide with quizzes and key terms all pulled from your notes.
But you can also get really creative with custom prompts. You could ask it to be a gap hunter and find what's missing in your research, or a contradiction finder to find where your sources disagree. Super cool.
But it's not just about spitting out text. NotebookLM also helps you see your information in new ways, and this can be a total game changer for finding those hidden connections.
For instance, it can automatically whip up a mind map for you. It shows you how all the different topics and ideas in your documents are connected. It's awesome for getting that big picture view. Or it can create a timeline. This is so useful if you're trying to understand how an idea developed or the order of events in your sources.
You know, the tool also gets that we don't all learn by just staring at a screen and reading text. So it has these cool multimodal features that let you listen and watch your research instead.
You can actually generate an audio overview. This is wild. It's basically a custom podcast where two AI voices have a surprisingly natural chat about your documents. And now, they've even added a video explainer that makes a short narrated video walking you through the key points. It's seriously like having a personal tutor who can brief you while you're commuting or making dinner.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But look, no tool is perfect. So it's time to get real and talk about where it shines and where it still needs some work.
So when we look at what users are saying, a really clear pattern emerges. On the plus side, it's excellent at retrieval, just finding the right info. It's great at comprehensibility and organization, so it explains things clearly and puts them in a logical order. But on the other side, its reasoning can be a bit weak. It sometimes struggles to connect ideas from different places. It's also not great at math, so don't trust its calculations. And it can sometimes overgeneralize from a single example. And yep, even with all those safeguards, hallucinations can still happen sometimes. So the bottom line is, it's an incredible assistant, but it's not a flawless genius.
And that leads to some really important practical advice. Number one, always verify. Use those citations. Go back to the source document and double check, because the AI can definitely misinterpret things. Number two, be super careful about uploading sensitive or confidential information. And finally, if you're using this for work or for school, please check your company or university's policies on data privacy and just be aware of potential copyright stuff with the materials you're uploading. All right, let's pull all of this together, because NotebookLM is more than just a cool new tool. It really feels like a new kind of relationship with AI, one that's built from the ground up on collaboration.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. NotebookLM is not trying to be some all-knowing oracle. That's not the point. It's designed to be a focused, private thinking partner. Its entire purpose is to help you work smarter with the information that you already know is important. It's really like a partner for your own brain.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about, doesn't it? Because as these personalized AI tools get more and more powerful, they're basically going to become experts on whatever little worlds we build for them. So the real question isn't about AI anymore. It's about us. What are we going to choose to teach it? The power really shifts from just finding information to thoughtfully curating it. And that's a whole new way of thinking.